Hello, welcome to today's video. Today I thought we'd go through my summer TBR, so all the books that are on my radar this summer that I really want to read. And there's quite a lot. I seem to keep buying books and then being like, that's gonna be perfect for summer, I'll save that for summer. And now I have quite the summer TBR. But I probably won't get around to every single one of these, but this is what's on my current radar, what I'll most likely be choosing from this summer. You might have noticed that there wasn't actually a July TBR that went up this month. That's because I'm actually going away on holiday and I just kind of wanted to choose books that I was in the mood to read while I was away on holiday. So I thought I'd do a summer TBR instead just for this month. But I thought I'd go through the books that I want to read this summer. So as you can imagine, I have a lot of romance on here. I feel like romance is like a go-to in the summertime, especially on holiday, especially for a beach read. So I have quite a lot of romance, and then I also have thrillers. Now thrillers are really hard because it's kind of like what makes a thriller summery or have a summer vibe unless it's set at summertime, but I don't actually know when these are set because obviously I haven't read them yet. But I do have a small pile of thrillers that I thought I'd just show you because these are the ones that are kind of on my priority TBR of thrillers, if that makes sense. And these are the ones I'm going to be sort of gravitating towards more because I very rarely can read romance after romance after romance, so there will be some thriller in there as well. So I thought I'd just show you the thrillers as well that are on my radar at the minute. Let's start off with the summer vibes, the romances, all the books that just give me summer energy. The first one we have is Mile High by Liz Tomford. I feel like this has been on my TBR for way too long now and I really want to get to it this summer. I actually don't know when it's set and I don't know what it is about this that gives me summer vibes, but it just does. I just feel like it'd be a really easy, fun read during summer. This was a hockey player and a flight attendant, and it's kind of giving the energy where they don't get on at the start and then they slowly start to warm to each other. I don't actually know that much about what this is actually about, but I kind of like that because I kind of want to go in not really knowing much. I just know that it's sort of enemies to lovers, and I have a feeling it's a bit of a spicy book as well. That's our first one on our summer TBR. And then continuing with the spicy books, we have Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is the third one in the Chestnut Springs series, and the rest of the Chestnut Springs series is on my TBR. If I get to this one quite early in the summertime, then the next two are definitely on my radar and on my summer TBR as well. But for this video, I just thought I'd put the next one in. The way I am so excited for this one, I'm so excited. This is probably my most anticipated one in the whole series. I'm just really intrigued by Jasper. I'm really intrigued by him, and I've been putting this off because I want to make sure that I'm in the mood to read it, just to make the most of it, because that's how high my expectations are for this book. And in case you don't know anything about this series, the series is basically set at Chestnut Springs and it's giving life on the ranch, it's giving cowboys. Each book in the series concentrates on a different trope, which I absolutely love because I just think there's something for everybody then. And it's an interconnected standalone series, so each book you can read by itself and understand it, but they all focus on the same group of characters and each book is just a different couple. And we see hints of Jasper and Sloane. I think her name's Sloane. Is it Sloane? We see hints of them and sort of their relationship and what's going on there. And honestly, Jasper is so mysterious. And in both the first books, I've been like, who are you? I need to read your book. And this is his book, so it makes me very excited. This is Childhood Best Friends to Lovers. And I believe he's an ice hockey player. I don't actually know much about Sloane. I feel like she's only briefly mentioned, but we never really meet her, I don't think. Maybe we do. I can't remember. But she's not as big a character in the first two as Jasper's presence is. But this one I also think is going to be perfect for summertime. The whole Chestnut Springs series is, because we're literally living our best lives with cowboys on a ranch. The next one I would say is very much at the top of my priority TBR for summertime, and that's Seven Summers by Page 2. If this isn't giving summer vibes, I don't know what is. This is set on the Cornish coastline and it follows two people that meet one summer, and they basically make a deal that he will come back every summer, and if they're both single that they'll spend the summer together. So I'm guessing it follows them on each of the 7 summers that they spend together or don't spend together. Who knows? I just really like the whole concept, and I like books where we can kind of see changes over the years, and we're definitely going to get that with this. And I just really like books where you want them to be together but then maybe they can't because one summer she might have a boyfriend, or and you're just reading it and you're like so frustrated because you just want them to be together. And I love books that do that and create that sort of like, oh, just get together already. And I feel like this is what this is giving, hopefully. I'm really excited and I feel like I'm going to really like it. I have a very good feeling about this book, and I think this is definitely one that I'm going to be bringing on holiday with me because I feel like it would just be a perfect beach read. And then we have The Catch by Amy Lee, or Amy Leah. I never know how to say that name. But this one is actually part of a series which I didn't know when I first bought it. I believe it's another interconnected standalone series, so I believe that you can read these on their own. I need to double check that. But I think this is part of a series called the Influencer series, and each book focuses on a different type of influencer. So this one is a fashion influencer, and she basically escapes to a fishing village and she meets fisherman Evan. And they basically end up making an agreement that he will help with her social media content if she will fake an engagement with him. So it's got the fake dating trope in, which we love. And this is just giving pure summer vibes. I mean, fishermen, little rural fishing village. But I'm excited about this one. I feel like it's just going to be a really easy, fast-paced read. And then we have Hate Mail by Donna Marchetti. And this one, not necessarily summer vibes, but just easy, fast-paced vibes. That's what it's giving me. I feel like that's just what you need in summer. You just need something easy and fun and flirty, you know? This one follows Naomi and Luca, and they've basically been pen pals since 5th grade. I really need to take that sticker off. Oops. And basically they develop a friendship through sending each other letters, and they send letters to each other for about 12 years until one day they randomly stop, and then 2 years on from when they stopped, she gets a letter in the post. And I just think that's such a fun concept, and I feel like it's going to make it different to every other romance that I've read. I just think this is giving such a fun vibe, and I'm also hoping that they have like letters as part of the text as well so that we can see them. Oh, they do sometimes. Okay, that's fun. Again, just think it's going to be a really easy, fun and flirty little read. And then we have Hits Different by Tasha Guri and Lizzie Huxley Jones. This one is very much giving summer vibes from the cover. I think it's all set in the summer as well. This is a newer release, and I think this is a romance, but it's also about self-love, which I really like because I like a romance with something a bit more to it. This one follows a dancer, and I think she's just feeling really stuck with where she is in her life at the minute, and she decides to turn it around. That's all I really know about this. And then we have First Base by Ali Wygand. This one follows a baseball player and a photographer. That text is tiny. I was just thinking, oh, it's a really cute thin book. Nope, the text is tiny, that's why. So she's the photographer for the team, and he's a baseball player, and I believe it has a fake dating trope in there as well. Which, sports romance with fake dating. Yes. Yes, please. And I really enjoy the little poem we've got going on there as well. I enjoy that. And then we have This Could Be Everything by Eva Rice. And I have a feeling this is going to be kind of similar to Where the Crawdads Sing, but without the thriller element to it. It's a coming of age, it focuses just on one girl, and it says this could be everything. It's about being a sister and the chaos of first love. So I feel like this is going to be a really interesting read, and it's also nice to have something on my TBR that's sort of more of a coming of age story and not necessarily heavy on the romance side of things. I know it says chaos of first love, but I feel like that will be more concentrated on her experience with it, which I really like the sound of. And I think it's going to be one of those books where it has sort of a deeper meaning going on underneath as well, which we're so here for. And then we have One Good Thing by Alexandra Potter. This one's been on my TBR for a while actually. This is one of the ones that I've been saving for summer because I just feel like this is going to be the perfect, fast-paced, funny, light-hearted read. And this basically follows Liv Brooks, and she swaps her busy life in London for a crumbling cottage in the Yorkshire Dales. That kind of gives me the holiday vibes, which I know is Christmas, but this gives me summer vibes. So this is like the summer version of the holiday. And I think this is one of those where everything in her life has kind of gone wrong. She's divorced, she's lost her job, and she just decides to take herself away to a little cottage and she starts to rebuild her life there. That's the vibe this is giving me. And I just feel like it's going to be a funny, light-hearted read. Next we have The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. I'm so excited for this one. This one follows Addie and her sister, and they're basically on their way to their friend's wedding, and on the way there they crash, and they crash into none other than one of their exes. And then they have to ride the rest of the journey in their ex's car. That whole concept, it already makes me giggle, that whole concept. And I'm also really excited to read another Beth O'Leary. The only one that I've read so far is The No-Show, and I really enjoyed that. And that was kind of a surprise read for me because something happens in that I was like, oh, I thought this was like a light-hearted, fluffy little romance, but it wasn't. But I really liked that, so I'm excited to read another one of hers. And I just think this is giving funny rom-com vibes, but also with a bit of a deeper meaning going on underneath as well. And then we have It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I feel like I'm so behind on reading this. I've literally been saving it for summer. I bought it back in autumn time last year and it just didn't feel right to read then, so I've been saving it for summer. But this is one of those that was so popular on BookTok and I'm excited to see what all the hype is about. I will say that I did read one Tessa Bailey, I think it was called Window Shopping. It was a Christmas one and I really didn't get on with that. I just really didn't like the main guy character in it and I just found it very cringy. So it kind of makes me nervous going into this one, but I am going to give it a go. I'm going to go in with an open mind and this is one of the most popular ones that I've seen of hers. So I'm intrigued. I think this is small town romance. I think it's a bit spicy as well and I think it's Grumpy Sunshine. So I'm intrigued by this one. Excited to see if I like it as much as everyone else does. And then we have some newer books that I've recently bought. First one is I Wish You Would. I've been wanting to read this for so long and I've literally never seen it in a bookstore, and then I went into the works the other day and it was there for £3 and I was like, I need it right now. This follows an overnight stay at a beach to kick off senior year and these two are basically best friends and they nearly crossed the line once but they didn't, and I think they secretly like each other but they've never told each other and they're too scared to. That's what I'm getting from the back of this, and I think the whole thing is set on this beach at this overnight stay. A swoony summer romance. That's just what we want. And then I recently picked up Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. This one gives me summer vibes, but literally on the back it says it's spring. But I don't know what it is about this that I think would be perfect to read in summer. I've read the back and I was like, I'm literally taking this on holiday with me. Again, I don't actually know too much about it. I know that it's a coming of age and it basically follows a family and the mother is telling them about a story about a film star that she shared a stage and a romance with years before. It just seems like a really interesting book and different to anything that I've read before. Tom Lake is a meditation on youthful love, married love and the lives parents lead before their children are born. And then on the front it also says a bittersweet tale of family, heartbreak and hope. It just sounds like my kind of thing and also different to anything that I read, so I'm excited for this. And the cover is stunning. I don't like this. I don't like that we can't take that off, but if we ignore it, she's stunning. And then we have a newer release, which is a novel love story by Ashley Boston. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you how excited I am to read this. I love the sort of magical realism vibe that Ashley Boston's books have. I absolutely loved 7 Years Slip and I really want to get Dead Romances as well. That's her first one that she wrote. This one I'm so intrigued by. Our main character gets stuck in a book. Literally stuck in a love story. Book that she gets stuck in is small town, grumpy bookshop owner that she meets. It sounds so good. The concept, so good. And I can't wait to read another Ashley Boston book because I really loved 7 Years Slip and it's literally a book that I still think about. And then also another newer release. This is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. I've actually not heard that much about this book, but I saw it. First of all, the sprayed edges. I mean, come on. And I saw it and was intrigued. And then I read the back and I was like, that whole concept is so good. This follows Delphi and she meets the one in the afterlife and she's basically devastated when a mix-up means he's sent back to Earth, and she makes a deal to go back to Earth and find him and reconnect with him, but she has to do it in 10 days and make him fall in love with her. And the twist, he has no recollection that they've ever met. And we're back. It's a couple hours later because I had to charge my battery for my camera, but we're back. Where was I? I think I was talking about The Love of My Afterlife. I think I kind of summed up the plot of it. I'm really excited about this one and I like how it's kind of got that magical realism aspect to it as well, and how it just feels like a romance but with something different about it, kind of similar to Ashley Boston's books. So I'm intrigued, and this is an author that I've never read before, so I'm intrigued to see what the writing style is like and whether I'll get on with it, but hopefully I will. And again, this isn't specifically summer vibes, I don't think. It could be set at summertime, I don't know. But it's a new summer release, which is exciting, and I am hoping to read this really soon. And then I think that's everything for sort of summer romance vibes. I'm going to go through some thrillers that are on my radar right now and that I hope to read this summer. And then also there are a couple new releases that are also coming that I will tell you about that I'm so excited for. So let's do some thrillers. So I have 2 Freedom McFadden books on my priority thriller list right now. The first one is The Inmate, which has been on there for a while actually. I'm just really waiting until I'm in the mood for it because this is one of my most anticipated reads probably on my entire TBR, just because it's set in a prison and anything to do with prison or criminals or criminal psychology, that type of thing, I absolutely love. And this follows a nurse practitioner that works at a maximum security prison, and I just have a feeling it's going to be one of my favourite Freedom McFaddens. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that it is. So even though this isn't summer related, it's definitely at the top of my TBR at the minute, and I'm really excited to read it. The other Freedom McFadden is her newest release, which is The Housemaid is Watching. This is the third one in the Housemaid series. I actually only recently read the second one, and I absolutely loved it. I read it literally in less than 24 hours. It's one of the fastest books I think I've ever read, and I actually preferred it to the first one. I still really liked the first one, but I actually found that I was more invested and more gripped in the second one. So I'm excited to see what this one's like. I believe that this one quite a few years later than the second one was set. I know that she's married and that she has kids now, and I'm intrigued to see how Freedom McFadden's gonna make our main character end up in some sort of situation. I'm excited to see how that all pans out, and I feel like you can't really go wrong with a Freedom McFadden book because they're just so easy and enjoyable to read. And then we have All the Best Liars by Amelia Kahani. I don't know how to say that, but there it is. This one is a YA thriller, and I think it's set at summertime. It's set in the California desert. Ooh. I think this gives me very similar vibes to We Were Liars, not just because of the title, but the actual concept of it. It basically follows three friends who think that they're going to be inseparable forever, and there's a deadly fire that changes everything. And basically they all think they're going to have each other's backs, but then it doesn't turn out that way. It says each of them will escape as they'd hoped, but not in the way any of them expects. One will do it by dying, another by lying, a third by taking the fall. It sounds really interesting, and I feel like it's going to be one of those where there's a lot of secrets and maybe some backstabbing going on. Who knows? But I'm excited to find out. The next one is The Mother by T.M. Logan. This one I've not actually heard that much about. I've heard about T.M. Logan's writing and how they write really, really good thrillers, but I've actually never read one of their books before. This one basically follows somebody that's accused of murdering their husband, and 10 years later they're released from prison. I think they lost custody of their children because obviously they were in prison, so she's kind of determined to find out the truth of what actually happened that night. Sounds really good. It sounds like it's going to be a really gripping thriller, which I'm so here for. And then the last thriller that's on my priority TBR right now is Good Have Gone by Taryn Fisher. This is another author that I've actually never read anything. I know she had a book with Colleen Hoover called Never Never, but I've actually never read anything by Taryn Fisher before. But again, I've heard such good things about this, and I have a feeling from the blurb I'm gonna really, really enjoy this one. This one basically follows Iris, who saw her twin sister get kidnapped, I think when they were younger, and now she's an adult and she wants to find out what happened. And she basically needs to find proof because nobody believes that she saw her get kidnapped, and she does this by interning at a hospital for the criminally insane. So again, with the criminal aspect of things, I think I'm gonna really enjoy it. This is another one where I feel like not everything's gonna be as it seems, and secrets are going to get revealed and the truth is slowly going to come out. So this just sounds like something that I'm going to really enjoy. And then for new releases, I know there are quite a few new releases coming this summer. I've narrowed it down to the three that I'm probably most excited about and that are definitely most on my radar. Please bear in mind as well that as new releases come out and as time goes on through summer, books will most likely be added to it because I can't seem to stop buying books, and I might find things that I don't know about now that I'm like, that would be a perfect little beach read, and buy it then. So this is just my summer TBR for now, but there might be a couple more books added to it here and there. So for new releases, on July 2nd, Reckless is coming out by Lauren Roberts. This is the second one to Powerless, and this is probably one of my most anticipated reads of the entire year, and I'm so excited for it to come out. I already know that I will be reading it as soon as it comes out because I'm so excited for it. So that one comes out July 2nd, and then there's actually 1,000 Broken Pieces coming out on July 18th, which I didn't even know that there was going to be another book, but this is the second one to 1,000 Boy Kisses, which I read right at the start of when I started getting into reading, and I did like it. It's not one of my favourite books, but I did enjoy it, and I do kind of wonder what she's going to do for the second book, so I do want to read the second one. And then another one that I'm so excited for, I think I mentioned it earlier, is Daydream by Hannah Grace, which is coming out the 27th of August. I'm so excited for this one. This is the third one in the Maple Hills series, and I think this must be back on the uni campus, and I think it follows Henry, who has now become the captain of the ice hockey team, and also Ali, I think her name is. I want to say that's her name, but I could be wrong. And I know that she has something to do with books. I think she has a book club or something. And I think she's really good academically, and she starts to help Henry out as like a tutor, I think. But I'm really excited for that because even though it's set on uni campus, it just gives happy summer vibes, and I just think that's going to be a really fun read. And I feel like everybody that's read Icebreaker and Wildfire has been waiting for Henry's book as well, so that's just going to be really fun. And that's all the new releases that I can think of that are coming in summer, and I just know that when they come out they're going to be going straight to the top of my TBR. That's all for my summer TBR. I've actually got so many more books on my summer TBR than I thought I did. I definitely won't be getting through all of these, but these are the ones that I'm going to be choosing from, and I hope that it's also giving you some more kind of summer recommendations, because you might have liked the sound of some of these ones as well, and it might have given you some more ideas of books to read in the summertime, and then we can read them together, and that'd be really fun. But that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed. Please let me know if you did, and please let me know what book you're most excited for that's either being released or just that you're most excited to read this summer. I'd love to know. And thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next video.